and dolls, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, how you doing? As usual, please comment, like, subscribe, share my videos, because that's probably the only way, besides you, the viewer who happens to be watching this video, that this information will spread. And I looked deep into this. I did some research, again, as I usually do for any of my videos that are very serious and that deal with the things that are happening right now. And this is definitely one that you will want to listen to, that you will want to hear, and that is very, I guess, if you want to call it controversial, I don't think it is. I'm just trying to help people understand what is really going on in the best way that I can. So without further delay, let's get started. And no, again, this is about what's happening right now, because actually I am having a really hard time with what's happening right now, and I may have to once again go on a rampage trying to find work because of this. And I'm sick of it, and I'm tired of it. And as I know that the power of no will set me free, that's what I'm doing right now. And I have almost an entire workforce. Right now, the place that I'm employed at, all of them are under the thumb of the powers that be. All of them are trusting the powers that be blindly, without question, without asking. So that means if the powers that be said, throw yourself off a cliff, these people will be the first ones at that cliff's face, jumping off without question. And I'm sorry, but when the powers that be say jump, I will not say how high. And I am living my life happily. I am employed at the moment. I am doing everything that I can do to stay happy and live my life in the most pleasant and content way that I can, because that's the way, that's what we all should be doing. But I'm not stupid, and I am not going to continue to take the abuse. I am not going to continue to allow the powers that be to tell me what I can and cannot have in my body. And it's getting to the point where all of our freedoms are being taken away. The fact that I may not be able to work in the future because I do not have this cure of poison that they are choosing to lie about. They are choosing that they are showing, hey, look, I'm getting this cure. You should too. When you see these people on TV getting this cure, do you honestly think for 1 second, do you honestly think for one single second that anything within that cure that they happen to be allowing in their body is what they say it is the same cure that you are going to receive in any hospital or clinic that you go to? Do you really believe that? So this is for those of you who are on the fence, who are scared, who do not want to use the power of no, and who think that if they do what the powers that be are telling them to do, that it will go away. It's not going away. It will get worse. So the more you acquiesce and the more you run to get your little cures, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, believe me, they're not stopping at 2. The more you believe these lies, the worse it's going to be for you. And God only knows how many more people will lose their employment. I'm not putting that out there for myself. I know I will not. I know I'll be fine. I know things always work out for me to the best of my benefit, but that's my mindset. And that should be your mindset. You know, everything has its consequences, and I'm ready to face mine, whatever they may be, because I know they will benefit me in the best possible way. So, without further delay, let's start this. On February 15th, 2021, the BBC aired a special program called, this is the first word, Disinformation War. The show aired for about 30 minutes, attacking and discrediting a film collaboration put out by Oracle Films and CoviLeaks called Ask the Experts. Ask the Experts brought together experts from around the world, can't say experts, world, including medical doctors, scientists, professors, giving their educated personal opinions, which everyone has the right to do, by the way, on the safety and efficiency of so each person spoke on behalf of themselves and not as a collective. Some of the experts who spoke were Dr. Andrew Kaufman, Dr. Kevin Corbett, Dr. Rashid Buttar, Dr. Peter Rubas, Dr. Margareta Gries-Brisson, and Dr. Johan Dennis. These people, yes, they are doctors, but they are people first, spoke out at great risk to their reputations and livelihoods. The BBC accused Oracle Films of spreading dangerous misinformation and targeting it, vulnerable people and ethnic minorities. Professor Liam Smith, the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, was the star expert on the BBC program. He claimed the information on Ask the Experts was putting vulnerable people at risk, and the doctors putting out false claims should be investigated and have their licenses revoked. Professor Smith is in fact an accredited expert in his field, as his vast list of academic credentials will prove. But what the BBC failed to mention is that there are multiple conflicts of interest when it comes to the professor. The London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine has received multiple grants from, guess who? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The school has accepted over 122 grants over a span of 20 years, totaling $250 million in donations. Professor Smith is also a part of the BBC Media Action, a charity foundation which has also received $50 million in donations from, guess who? Oh my gosh! Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, about the same time frame the school was receiving their donations. Coincidence? You think? The professor is also a member of the steering group for the UK Biobank, which is the UK's biomedical database and data logged in-depth genetics and health information. Let me say that one more time. Okay, so he is a member of the steering group for the UK Biobank, which is the UK's biomedical database, and has data logged in-depth of genetics and health information from over 500,000 UK participants to date. Biobank has recently partnered with DNA Nexus, a cloud-based analytics platform on genomics and other clinical-based data. DNA Nexus is funded in large by Google and Microsoft. And guess who is one of the owners of these fine companies? Gates himself is listed as an owner. Why, of all people, was Professor Smith chosen as a BBC advocate to discredit multiple professionals in their own respective fields? Why? Why do you think Professor Smith was chosen? Do you think it was because he was paid to discredit? That he was paid quite a bit of money and it was in his best interest to say these things? I'll leave that up to you to decide. Oracle Films was providing a platform for doctors to express their opinions about an extremely questionable global medical crisis. And it is extremely questionable. Well, let's shed a bit of light on the monsters in the shadows and hear some truth from professionals who have empathy, compassion, and have not been bought by the Bill and Melinda Gates Blood Foundation. So let's start. Let's start with the first person who was trying to tell the truth and lost his job right here in the good old state of New York. Dr. Andrew Kaufman said the emergency being made for the masses are experimental treatments. They have not been approved by any government agencies such as the FDA. They have not been shown to be conclusively safe or effective. That's what he said. Okay, so on to the next person, Dr. Tom Cowan. He goes on to say other things, and let me just add, another thing that Dr. Kaufman said is that because the FDA has not, in their words, what they're saying to describe what this cure is, they're not saying that it's 100% effective. They're not saying that it will prevent or help you not to get this infection that was purposely put out into the world, which is actually not in the world anymore because they did it last year, and everyone who passed has passed. And right now things are okay to where we don't even need to wear a mask. But this is the farce that they're continuing to gain more control over us. Anyway, Dr. Kaufman also did say that military personnel, that's right, military soldiers are saying no to this cure. And they're allowed to say no. Why? Because it's not FDA approved. That's why. Just wanted to put that in there. So let's go to Dr. Tom Cowan. And he is a medical doctor from the United States. How does any medical professional prove that a new virus, infection, what have you, is the cause of any illness? Find a number of people who suffer from the illness in question using standard and common virological isolation and purification techniques that have been in common use in every virology labs for decades. One would isolate the virus from every other substance in the blood, sputum, or any other affected tissue in human or animal. Using microscopy shows the world the pure isolation of the particles called viruses from each person. Analyze the genetic material using commonly available computerized sequencing genetic tools which have been available for decades. These sequences should be identical. Finally, there is isolated, purified, photographed, and sequenced viruses would be introduced onto test animals along with rigorous and appropriate controls to see whether the test animals develop the identical illness the initial subject had. Then and only then can it be stated with confidence that this new virus is the likely cause of this new illness. He cannot find anywhere where any of this was done for this specific thing that is supposedly in our air and that healthy people are spreading. Nor can his colleagues find anything either. This procedure was also not done in AIDS, Hep C, or SARS-CoV-2. And I mean, do you really need to hear any more? Did you hear all the steps? I know that I'm not the greatest at pronouncing and explaining everything, but I'm pretty sure I went through all the steps that need to be done in order to isolate. Has anything been done? Do you know of anything that's been done? I can't find it. Can you find it? Maybe someone can tell me if they've found something that someone has written somewhere, some scientist, some professional, and all these steps have been done. And then a picture has been taken of what this virus looks like, because the picture that they're saying is this thing that's making everybody drop like flies is a computer generated picture. Came from a computer. They generated, they made it up. It's not because they isolated it. Still want to go out and get the cure? Still want to go and get that fake test for this? Still want to do that? I know I don't. And Dr. Kevin P. Corbett, he is a nurse and health scientist from the UK. This is what he had to say. There is a lot wrong with the coronavirus. He states in a nutshell, it was never isolated. And the lies and cover-up around this virus is questionable. The UK Health Service has now become a COVID health service run by the government, not health professionals. And they now boast a murderous chain of command and control similar to that of the Nazi era. I wonder why. Could it be that another whole planet exists? A whole nother planetoid exists where the whole Nazi World War II Germany thing has not died? And we have people going back and forth from this planet to Ceres? I mean, could that have anything to do with it? These amazing brave doctors did say a lot more, but the statements I have quoted resonated with me. the most, as I hope they have with you as well. We must realize we truly live among monsters, hence the fall of man. The agreement we made to dwell and live among them in ignorance and utter domination. We need to open our eyes, stand together, strong, pull away from the deceit, lies, tyranny, and in conclusion, just fall back on the power of no will set you free. So I don't want to, you know, this upsets me, and this is very frustrating to talk about, and I actually don't know if, you know, what I'm saying is going to be left on the platform. So I hope that it reaches a few of you. I hope that this opens your mind, your beliefs, and gives you, like I said, any information that you hear kind of changes you. That's why the powers that be and people in rule have burned books throughout the centuries. And this person right here, who is stating the truth of what is really going on, this person has been taken off of every social media platform because they don't want information like this out. They don't want anybody to know these things. If you're interested in listening to the story will be on BitChute under him. This is where I got all that information. His son Gareth was the one who put it together, and it is on BitChute if you want to listen to the entirety of what all these doctors have to say. And it's really funny because right now where I work, these same individuals who are trying to help people, who are trying to cure people, have no clue. They are all running for the cure. They are not questioning the test that is not testing for anything. That test that goes up your nose, that hurts, that is tagging you, that is putting all your information into a computer so that you're easily targeted and easily found and easily isolated and annihilated out of existence if you speak up or if you have too much influence over others. This is what I'm talking about. So I'm going to end this video because I'm getting more and more upset. Guys, make good reading decisions, make good decisions on the videos you watch, make good reading material decisions, because these are the things that shape you. I hope that I've opened your mind. I hope that I've, you know, given you a bit more information to at least make you think, if nothing else. Yes, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.